In this video, I'm going to show you that how we can actually use Metasploit framework to another extent. I'm going to show you that how we can use another kind of exploit or we can avail another kind of exploit in order to hack a machine target. Well, that is very easy to do with Metasploit framework, and you can easily use this framework in order to understand what is the basic of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a few of the options in here. I'm going to once again I'm going to need to be in the MSF console, and right now I'm inside the MSF console. As you can see that I have written MSF console and now I'm inside the MSF console. Now what I need to do is I'm going to have to use the exploit. That exploit would be totally different from the one we have used in the previous videos, and there will be actually definitely dynamic exploit. And in this video I'm going to also introduce you to a new tool, that is Nmap. Nmap is actually a port scanner, or you can call it a king port scanner. It is the father of all scanners. It gives you a complete detail of every port that is open or closed in the target machine. It will give us, or it will give an idea to us that which port is open and at which port we need to be entered into that target system. Well, the target system example would be a house. In house we have 2 to 3 or 5 to 6 doors depending on the scenario. So Nmap would tell us that which door of the house is open and which door of the house is closed. So when the Nmap would tell us that which door of the house is open, we will enter into that house with that open door. Similarly, when the port is open of that targeted system or machine, we will be able to enter into that targeted machine with that open port. So now I'm going to use Nmap, and then I'm going to use -SS, and then I'm going to use -O, and now I'm going to use the IP address of the computer we are going to actually hack on. So there are several ways to get the IP address. Is the one way is to just track a person and get his IP address by just asking him, or you can just get into that computer physically and just type on the cmd command into that computer and type ipconfig, and you will get the IP address of that specified computer, that is 192, or in my case this is actually the wireless connection, so this is 192.168.1.6. but if you are not having a physical access to the remote PC, but if you have that person inside your network, then you can easily get into his network by 192.168.1.1 and just type in this 192.168. It will ask you your username and password. It is actually the username of the router, and it is the default router to which you are connected. So if any computer that is connected to this router, you will be able to get his or her computer IP address. So I'm just going to type in the admin. The default username and password is admin and admin, so I'm just going to use both admin and admin, but I have changed it for a security purpose, so I'm going to give my own password for that, and I'm just going to type into login. And as you can see that now I'm inside the DSL router of my home connection, and you can easily get anything you want, for example any information about that router connection, advanced setup, or whatever you want. You can just get into this information, and this is a bunch of information you can get. So the main thing is the DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol. I'm just going to click on it, and as you can see that you can get a list of the IP addresses of the computers that is connected to your computer. These are the IP addresses of different computers, and this is the IP address. This is the PC is my computer, so this is the IP address of my computer, that is 192.168.1.6. so in this way you can get the IP address of that specified person. So I have now gotten my address. Remember that these addresses are not permanent, these are temporary. These will change time by time according to your internet connection that is automatically set up. So I'm just going to get back, open the 192.168.1.6 and press enter. And as you can see that now Nmap will begin to execute that IP address, and it will tell us that which port is open and which port is not open. But it will take a considerable time, as it will begin to actually scan each and every port of that targeted system, that is 192.168.1.6, and will tell us that which system in reality is open and closed. So I'm just going to pause the video and we'll come back when it completes scanning. As you can see that now Nmap has completed its scan. I'm just going to get into this area section, and in both of the areas section it has completed a scan. So that is now, so I'm just going to get rid of it. As you can see that we have actually executed this command in the Metasploit framework, and now it has completed a scan, and it is now showing us the number of ports, that is the transmission control protocol ports, and it is showing us that these ports are open. As you can see that Microsoft DS, that is a 445 port, 465 port SMTP port, and many other like HTTP port, that is 8008, and HTTP proxy port. Many different ports are open in this system, which is actually belonging to me, and it is also showing to us that which version of Windows it is using, Microsoft Windows 7 Enterprise. So these are the Windows details. So in this way we could use the Nmap scanner, and that is why it is called the king of scanners, as it gives you a complete detail of the ins and outs of that particular stuff. So now that we have find out that these ports are open, we are concerned about a few of the specific ports in that case. Now I'm going to use in this thing, I'm just going to actually find out the exploits. So I'm going to use show exploits, and it will give me a list of exploits that is available currently to me. As you can see that it has given me a list of exploits, and there is a lot of exploits which I can use, but I'm just going to use a specific exploit that is actually the Windows exploits. I'm going to use Windows SMB MS08 067 net API. Well, this is a kind of exploit which will be actually allowing us to get into that specified port which is open. And if you just get back to the above section, we are actually concerned with that specific port which we have actually scanned with Nmap. Well, that is not actually available in that case, but that was actually a 445 port in Nmap. So we are concerned about that 445 port. So I'm just going to use the remote host and local host in here, and we'll set the port to 445. Now we will set the remote port in here. So I'm just going to type on set remote port, and that will be 445 remote port. And after that I'm just gonna set out the remote host, that will be actually remote host. And after that I'm just gonna get into the IP address of that person. So I'm just gonna type in 192.168.1.6, and after that we have set all the things. Now I'm just gonna type in the command. I'm just gonna type in set smb pipe srv and press enter. And now it's time to actually set the payload. So I'm going to use set, and I'm going to use payload Windows interpreter bind_TCP and press enter. And now it's time to actually exploit. So I'm going to use exploit and press enter, and I will wait a few seconds. And as you can see that, so now it is saying that exploit failed, no target, no matching target, as you can see in the same packet. So I'm just going to get back in here. We'll just type my CMD, and then I'm just going to type ipconfig, and then I'm just going to get back. That is 192.168.1.6. I'm just going to get back, and we'll confirm that yes, this is 192.168.1.6. So for that I'm just going to use set target 0, and once again I'm just going to type exploit, press enter. And as you can see that this exploit is not possible because that specified computer is not hackable or not vulnerable. This specified computer which is Windows 7 Ultimate is non-vulnerable and we cannot hack it. But if it was Windows XP or something that was vulnerable, then it would have definitely started a session out there. So the reason I'm not using any other computer, because that is totally illegal. But the thing is that you can install Windows XP as a virtual operating system, and when you apply these techniques on Windows XP, it will definitely work.